Sure. I'm Tye Steinbach, one of the owners with my wife of Thinker Toys in Multnomah. The year has been unusual. We closed down to in-store visits between the middle of March and early July, and we had a relatively terrible summer in terms of sales. And then things started to turn around a little bit, and we added an online component where people could buy things from our online store for the first time in 26 years. We'd always avoided that. We were convinced that the inventory management was going to be a massive headache, and surprisingly it's worked out fairly well. And I think today is the first day ever we're probably, it looks like, going to have more online sales than in-store sales. Oh. So November and December have been reasonably decent for us. Yeah, there were 3 of us in the store, my wife, myself, and our manager, and that was it. We were the only people in the store for, I don't know, almost 60 some days. So everything was done at the front door and curbside, and people were looking through the windows and calling up. We sent so many text photos to people trying to describe products. It was a lot of work. The 3 of us finally just said we could only do this for 4 hours a day, and then we would deliver things to people, for another hour after the store closed. So, yeah, and we still do. Our son is living with us temporarily right now, and he made I think 12 deliveries today. It's pretty well distributed. I would say a couple things that stand out are a couple product lines called Magnetiles and Squishables, a large Globos plush line that Lego always does well every year. Okay, we've sold a lot of scooters this year. If you look up above, you can see them up there. And then there's more of them down here. People spent a lot of time outdoors this year. You probably noticed people outside much more than before, and that's true of kids as well. This is a sophisticated variation of a marble run or marble maze. We haven't had any snow this year, but we've got the stuff if it happens. Oh, this was the big seller early on in the pandemic. We said it was the new toilet paper. It was the puzzles. So these are all these sort of imaginative, make-believe fort construction things, and kids can build them and then spend some time indoors and inside, as if they're not spending enough time that way anyway, but they are selling well. This is our science area. We sell a lot of science supplies. My wife and I are actually former science teachers.
Oh yeah.
Something that we've noticed. We've had this store for all those years, and that the building of machines, whether in this case kinetic machines or remote control machines that you see here, or smart machines that you see here. That's definitely been a trend that we've seen a lot of in the last few years. It's sort of the early robotics, and sometimes a little bit of coding is involved, and but then there's still chemistry sets and so forth. One thing that's really changed during the pandemic is we used to really focus on trying to have these hands-on areas for kids to play, and this is a play cottage that's no longer used for playing because they can't, and it seems like the concerns about surface touch transmission, I think it might be called fomite transmission, are not nearly as heightened as they were 6 months ago, but we still wash our hands and all that jazz, and we still discourage kids from close contact and touching things repeatedly over and over again. So we started the store in 1994. We were both still teaching. A year and a half later, my wife stopped, and a year after that, I stopped teaching and started doing this full time. We've always been in Multnomah. Our first store was 300 square feet. We had a handshake agreement. We didn't have a contract.
And how many square feet is this store?
This is almost 4,000, and it has a complete basement that we sort of use as a warehouse. And I guess it's a good year to imagine yourself otherwise, and so make-believe costumes. And then the whole back of the store is a lot of stuff for infants, a lot of developmental, manipulative toys, and it's amazing how much difference there is between a toy for a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old. because the changes are just so rapid. Stuffies or plush, been very popular. They're comforting, I think, would be a decent way to summarize them.